Hello, friends, and welcome to Talking with Femmes People. My name is Sergeant Host Derek, and I'd like to additionally welcome you to this extraordinarily exciting episode of The Type Police. Try as you might, you just can't hide, 'cause you're mistyped. And I've been waiting to pull you over all night. Type police, type police. Please pull that guy over. He says he's my ENTP, but seems extroverted, sensing to me. I think he's ESFP or type police. I see Officer PP has decided to join us. Anyhow, who do we have behind the badge tonight? Well, this is the second attempt at this guy. First one I had audio prompts and I needed to update Windows. Here we see one Mr. Jack Oliver Aaron. I'm familiar with him because he came to the raw room for a little while. And I had my opinions going into viewing this thing. My opinions going into viewing it are ENFJ, ENFP, ENTP. However, with my technical difficulties, I've already deduced what type this person is. I'm not going to say right now, but I'm going to play some of it from where I left off, and I want you to note, I'll make note of a couple of things. I want you to. I'll note a couple of things that I think might be interesting.
Structure and tells me something interesting about the world, or about a possible world. So I also like theoretical cosmology. I like psychopathology, which I found very interesting. Also, the idea of like working out little boxes and categories that people can go into, and just basically just understanding those categories and learning them. So I got a rather wide circle of interests. Also, was interested in mixed martial arts for a while. Just like I like it. Oh, different fighting disciplines. Oh, that's so cool. How is that one different to that one, etc. Yeah. Also, I like classical music, but I'm more like I'm not so much interested in classical music. I just like listening to it because I find it very fun to listen to. Also, I like my music color synesthesia starts playing up in my head when I start listening to music, which I also enjoy. I like the complexity of that as well. So yeah, that was my interest. At home, I'm also very with my family. Going to question 3, I come across very hyperactive in person, and and essentially when I'm out and about, I'm hyperactive. But at home, I'm very, very much the relaxed one. I usually sit in this little armchair in the corner, got my laptop, doing stuff on my laptop, doing lots of stuff online. I'm very interested in doing online activities, getting involved in different things. But I'm very relaxed and rather chilled in the home environment. I try to be comfortable. It's hard to stay relaxed and chill because I'm one of 5 siblings. I'm the eldest. And the middle 3 are very, very combative and antagonistic towards each other, always getting into fights and arguments, etc. So often I'm the one that actually ends up mediating and trying to calm things down, listening to what their problems are, trying to find out what the solution is, where the inconsistency is, where the misunderstanding is. And so I've developed a lot of mediating skills as a result.
Okay, so if I were just watching this straight off the bat and just came right in on this point. In the first little chunk, he talks about a bunch of like philosophy stuff that he's interested in, because he's going through interview questions that he normally would ask somebody else, but he's asking himself the same interview questions. And this question now is about his family. So with his interest in philosophy and stuff, one might immediately be leaning towards ENTP over ENFP, for example. Now, I came in thinking maybe he's an ENFJ, but in pretty short order, I concluded he's probably not an ENFJ. I mean, actually, now I kind of want to like revisit the issue from scratch a bit. Let me watch some more.
Also, often good at giving advice to my mother, who often needs me to give her advice. Often tell us almost she's an IE, so I'm very good at taking on this almost SLI-ish role. I'm channeling my SLI grandfather and speaking to her and listening to her problems, trying to calm her down, make her a cup of tea. She really loves to make a cup of tea, and the usual thing. So I learned to adapt to the rest of my family in order to keep a nice environment where I can do my interesting things. At the same time, not letting their obligations and pressures get in what I'm trying to do. Also, I'm very avoidant of my father when he comes in. Tries to put people to work. I'm like very quickly upstairs, hiding in my room so I don't get made to work and anything. Or if I have to do work, like doing the washing up, for instance, and there's like a rota. Well, even the rota, it's not very good about actually hearing any sort of structure in the house. There's no structure in the house. Rather, there is like anyone he sees gets given the washing up. So what I try and do is I wait for the day where it's very little to do, and I'll then be, hey, I'll do the washing up, and then my dad says, good, someone volunteers. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I appreciate. Someone actually wants to help the family. And so what I do is I do the very, very easy washing up, and then next day, when it's like the very, very difficult washing up, the point I've got chicken bones, all this other stuff to deal with, I then say, I did the washing up yesterday, so I think it's one of the others' turn to do it. And that's how I get away with a lot of stuff in the house. It's like a...
Okay. So, like, something like that would be consistent with either ENTP or ENFJ. I do shit like that, too, sometimes. I don't really do it so much anymore, but, you know, that kind of planning ahead argumentationally for how you're going to use some existing reality later on is a very ENTP-esque quality, I think. So, but it could be ENFJ as well. You could say it's manipulative or whatever. I don't know. It's just a matter of storing aside existing realities in order to use them as arguments later. All right, let's let him continue for a bit. He's an interesting fellow. He's got kind of an ENTP stereotypical display. He's got on the suspenders. You might say that I don't really display typically ENTP. It depends on my mood. I got my sexy hat. Sometimes I wear, we're flashy. Tend to want to, well, we don't mind drawing attention to ourselves. Let's put it that way. This guy doesn't mind drawing attention to himself.
It's like I've learned to dodge things by existing in this rather chaotic household. Obviously, good being in the top floor. That way, the only noise I really get is my brother. The sisters singing. It usually sometimes floats up here, but often they're making noise down the middle and lower floors. Yeah, but I'm good at being a family. I'm probably actually most liked out of people in my family because I don't get annoyed about things, I get angry about things. But everyone else is very, very short-tempered in the family. So I'm just a guy that I'm pretty much everyone's favourite family member, and they often like playing different sides against each other for different reasons. Yeah, that's home, my interests. Now with friends, relationships, I'm not very good. I've got some amount of charisma. I'm good at appealing to people in the first, making first impressions, making ideas interesting to people. I've got this high amount of energy with people. But I'm not very good at things when people get closer to me. I often mistreat my friends because I don't really know that they're as close as they feel they are close to me. I'm not very good at judging the closeness of friends. So, essentially, anyone who's nice to me, who smiles at me, or who says my name with a positive affirmation, I assume they're my friend. So I've got lots of friends. I've got over 3,000 Facebook friends. But I'm not very good at then saying, okay, that is that kind of friend. That person's a closer friend. That's just an acquaintance.
That's consistent with the ENTP, the assumption that everybody's your friend if they're pleasant, if they're mediumly agreeable. I think it would also be probably consistent with ENTP that you have difficulty ascertaining the closeness of relationships, how important somebody thinks you are to them in their life. I know I have that problem. it might be an ENFJ problem as well, though. So I still haven't really heard a lot that absolutely eliminates ENFJ here. But I mean, I I feel like he's probably an ENTP.
I'm not good at making these distinctions and feelings of psychological distance. I just think, okay, you're my friend, cool, be my friend, and that person you don't like me, okay, you don't have to be my friend if you don't want to. So that's essentially how I approach friends. And so with close relations, I can often people can then feel a bit dejected when I forget about them, or I'm off doing something else and talking to other people, and I forget my these supposed commitments to people who thought they developed a certain sort of rapport with me. So I'm not very good
Again, could
at
be consistent
maintaining
with the
that.
ENFJ too.
Also with relationships, I've had 2 relationships. One was with an EII, lasted 3 weeks, but ended. She dumped me because she realised I didn't actually love her after 3 weeks. And my 6-month relationship with what I thought was an ILE turned an EIE, went into an EIE, things went south very quickly. Essentially, when I'm in a relationship, I'm just glad that I have a girlfriend. I wasn't very good at actually making social connections, so essentially just I wasn't very I didn't really succeed very well.
He's got to be an ENTP, right? He's got to be. Did I play the song at the beginning of this episode? I don't think I played it. Oh, I'll play it at the end. I'm not gonna redo this one again. He's an interesting fellow. This whole thing about like just feeling glad to have a girlfriend, I empathize with that. Right? I resonate with that. Um, I want to watch a little bit more of him. He's interesting to me. He's so young and he's so able to be realized in this ecosystem where we have the internet in a way that I never was when I was that age.
In the whole social sphere when I was younger, I didn't really have any close friends. I just had lots of people to wander around and talk to. A lot of people didn't like me in school, for instance, because I was very, very odd, alienating, etc. But now I've kind of changed in that I've kind of abandoned my integrities, and I just say things to please people. That way, they're nicer to me. That way, I can get things that I need. Like if I'm in the college situation and society, I want to get that role. It's good if a director likes you. So I've managed to make myself far more likable than the person I was several years ago. I thought, oh, I'll be however I want. Screw how anyone else feels. I'll stick to my principles and not appease anyone else. I realised that didn't make me so happy because no one was nice to me. So as to make people, for me to be happier, people need to be
That's
nice
the
to me, more
hidden
welcoming
agenda.
to me. So I abandoned my integrity completely and just say whatever makes people happy. Now, what's very important in that close distinction, I never try and lie to myself. I always need to know exactly when I'm contradicting myself, saying one thing to one person, another to another person. I just know I'm just appeasing them. They're not important as long as they're appeased. What's important for me is that I am consistent to myself. That even though I can be put on these acts and these different faces, different people, I know what I think is consistent. I know that I don't necessarily believe I'm saying to one person. I don't believe 2 contradictory facts at the same time.
He's definitely an ENTP. Um, and it's interesting that the justifications he's making and stuff for quote unquote giving up his integrity. I also have such justifications for certain circumstances where I had in the past, in particular, like certain authority figures who have control over you, and it's not up to you that you're in that situation, and I just always felt like it was fine to lie to such people as the need arose. I don't really feel that way anymore. I think it's sometimes better to just, if you really have a defensible position and you're in the right, then just tell them the truth. And if you're not, then just tell them the truth. But I was certainly of his mind at the time when I was around his age, around college age and stuff. So anyway, Interesting video, Jack Oliver, Aaron. I can see some of the development that you mentioned and you talked about here since I last saw you in the room when you were somewhat more self-indulgent, and you're somewhat less so now. I mean, we will always be self-indulgent, you and I. But anyhow, good luck with you. I have confidence you're going to be a very successful person in life, and I wish you well. I know how challenging it can be too to be an ENTP, especially a young one. So you seem pretty happy, seem pretty well adjusted, and you got a good family. You got a lot of courage in general, which is something that, doesn't come early to every ENTP. I'm not necessarily sure it came early to me. So yeah, good luck with everything. Thanks for watching. You're free to go, sir. You're an ENTP. You claim to be an ENTP, and you are one. So you are free to go. You're not spending the night in jail. Instead, you're going to get to hear this theme song at the end of the episode. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Try as you might, you just can't hide